Jay, you're a piece of shit. A piece of shit. Oh, Jay, you suck.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Talking to Myself. I'm your host, Jake Letizia, and this is the podcast where I look into a camera and I talk to myself. How's it going? How are you doing on this fine Monday? It's not Monday in the time period where I am in the fucking world I am in right now. It's actually Saturday, and that's when I record, and I don't know why I always let you guys know when I'm recording versus what day it is, but I like to be truthful, and that's the truth. Today's Saturday. You'll be hearing this on a Monday, or maybe a different day. Maybe you'll be listening to this in 2021, and you'll be going, oh my god, I'm so happy. Oh, maybe in 2021 you'll be listening to this going, oh my god, thank god it's a different numbered year now. Thank god it isn't the number 20, because the number 20 is a bad year. Maybe that's what you'll be doing. You'll have $8 million in the bank. You'll have the job of your dreams. You'll have a fucking mansion. You'll have a beautiful husband and or wife. You'll be the most blissful, happy. You'll have a fucking little schnauzer dog that you like a lot, a little chihuahua that brings you Taco Bell every day, or whatever food you like, chipotle. You'll be you'll be listening to this in 2021 where your life is completely perfect, because that's all it takes is the number in the years we've chosen to count as our structure of time. That changes and your life becomes the best. That's how it works, right? You're fucking in 2021, you're accomplishing every resolution that you possibly could think up. There's not a single thing you went back on. It's not like you decided, I'm not going to drink soda this year, and literally the morning of New Year's Day, you went, well, I'm kind of thirsty, and you broke that shit. It's not like you went, hey, I'm gonna walk 1,000 miles this year, and the first 3 months you went, yeah, or I could play video games. It's not like that's gonna happen. No, it's 2021 and you're killing it so much. There's no more COVID because the number of the year changed. Hell yeah, dude. Or you're listening to this podcast right now on the Monday it comes out, and you're just like, you're chilling. You're a sane person who understands that, hey, man, there's a new year coming, but the new year doesn't change anything. Besides, people get optimistic for a hot second or pessimistic. It's weird, dude. New Year's is like, you know what New Year's is? New Year's is you becoming so depressed and bitter towards yourself that you haven't at all been doing the things that you want to be doing, and you haven't at all been actually making progress towards a happier life that you want for yourself. So in the last couple of weeks, in the last few days of the year, you get ultra optimistic to overcompensate for the fact that you fucked up the whole year. And that optimism makes you go, I'm going to make a lot of changes. I'm going to counteract this terrible feeling I have right now by doing all the things that I actually wanted to do, so that when next year comes around, I won't have this terrible feeling at the end of the year. And then guess what happens? You don't do any of the things you said, because the idea in your head of doing them is already the accomplishment. You guys ever do that? Where you think of all the cool things that you could do, like you play out in your head, like you writing the book you wanted to write, or whatever it is for you. You fucking losing 20 pounds, you play out what that would feel like and how you would do that in your brain so completely that when it comes time to do it, you just go, well, I kind of already experienced it. So then you do nothing, and then another year comes, and you feel that same horrible tearing at your gut of like, oh man, I didn't do anything. That's all that a new year brings. All a new year brings is incredible, shitty bitterness towards yourself, and then a silver lining of optimism that is not met with any sort of real accomplishment. That's what a new year brings. A new year brings new disappointment for what you won't do that year. That's what it brings. Anyway, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. How you guys doing? We're getting closer to Christmas. I don't know. You guys, I mean, if you've listened to this podcast, you've heard me thousands of times on here just complain about people's excitement for the new year. People's stupid fucking focus on 2020 sucks, but other numbers are good. That's stupid. That's a stupid way to think. Anyway, how you guys doing? It snowed the other day, which is fucking awesome, dude. I haven't really been out in it. Isn't it funny? It's funny, man. That's age. You get older and you see snow and you're like, damn, that looks nice. And then, but you never really step foot in it. You know, you go, damn, I'm so glad it snowed. I love the snow. But then I'm only really near it as I walk to the car to drive somewhere. Like, I'm not hopping into it. I guess that's just what being an adult is. Because as a kid, you see snow, you go, oh, where are my snow pants? I'm hopping in that shit. At least for me, I was always the kid who, I feel like, I guess it's just getting older. When I was younger, I mean, I'm trying to think of when I stopped playing in the snow. Because for me, a snow day was, oh, I get to play in the snow. Or it wasn't even a thought in my brain to play video games or anything like that. The only thing in my brain was, oh, I'm going to go sledding. I'm going to have a snowball fight. I'm going to walk and run in the snow. And then I'm going to have some hot chocolate. That's what my brain went to when snow was going to happen when I was a little kid. That movie Snow Day, dude, that's what it was, man. Oh, shit, it's a snow day. Let's fucking get out there, dude. Let's get out on those hills, man. On those suburban hills. Let's go fucking ride our sleds into the road, dude. But then, and now I'm trying to think of when was the transition into like, nah, it's a snow day, so I'm going to play Gears of War with the boys online. Maybe there was a bit of both. I don't know. I feel like throughout high school, I still went out in the snow. I'm a kid who I'm the type of kid who holds on to, or at least held on to, fun things that people shed because they think they're childish. You know? Like, I played with Legos probably till I was 10 or 12, something like that. I for a long time, dude, I slept with the fucking teddy bear till I was like 7 or 8. Maybe longer, I'm not sure. I slept with a fucking little teddy bear for long enough to be embarrassed about it. It's funny too, because as you get older, all age is relative. Like, I don't even know what's an old age yet. Like, when do people usually stop sleeping with the teddy bear or stop playing with Legos? I don't know what's the normal version relative to me. Like, I could be saying, oh, I slept with the teddy bear till I was 8, and people are like, so what? I did it till I was 15. No, I didn't do it till I was 15. It's funny too, because when you're younger, you think those years are longer. You know what I'm saying? And also, you're only as old as you are. So I remember in high school thinking, oh, I slept with a fucking teddy bear for way too long. I slept with the teddy bear for an embarrassing amount of time. If anybody knew, they would laugh in my face. And I was probably 15 when I thought that. So what does that mean? That must mean I would I slept with it till I was like 11 or 10. I would say 10. 10 sounds like an old enough age for me to be embarrassed as a 15-year-old. You know? Only 5 years out from it, looking back, going, damn, what a child. Dude, when I was 23, I thought I was fucking so adult. It's so funny. I guess that's just going to keep happening as I get older and older. As I'm going to look back on, when I'm 30, I'm going to look back now and go, oh, dude, I didn't know fucking shit. I was a dumb fuck. When I'm 35, I'm going to look back at 30 going, what a fucking dumb piece of shit. I guess that's good. That's progress. That shows you're changing enough to be embarrassed at your past self. I think that shows growth. I think that's a good thing. I think if you're looking back at your past self and you're like, damn, dude, I had it right. I think that you're not doing much. I think you might be fucking up a little bit. If you look back at your past self and you go, nah, man, no mistakes. That kid was better, bro. I think that's strange. I think you're moving in a bad direction if you look back at the past and go, yeah, no, what I said in 7th grade, that was some smart shit. But yeah, man, the snow, I love it. It just, I don't know. It's just a good feeling. Maybe it's the snow day that makes it feel so good. I don't get people who hate snow. I really don't. I don't get people who hate snow who grew up with it, because it's only, at least for me, maybe the people who don't like the snow who grew up on the East Coast, maybe that it's paired with shitty things. Maybe snow days for you were you trapped in a house with a parent you did not like. I don't know. My father was always at work, snow or not, so I didn't get to see him on snow days, so it was just my mom and my brothers, and it was fucking dope. Not to be, not to say, not to shit on my dad too much, but he's not the most fun. If I went sledding around him, there'd be a lot of, well, you gotta be careful, which is not what you want to hear on a snow day. I only have one memory of my dad being in the snow with my dad, and we went to some, I don't know why we did this, because I feel like I only have one memory of us going to this place, and then never again. And it's always interesting with memories like that, because you're like, why did we go to that place? If that wasn't a regular thing, why did we go there? Who got us there? Who told us about it? Why the fuck were we there? But I guess a lot of that isn't for me to know, because I'm just with my parents and I'm young enough to just go, I guess I'm going where these larger people are going. I guess the larger guy who looks like me is going to carry me to places that they want me to go. Hopefully they're cool. It's weird that's what your life is when you're a kid. These larger people that look like me are going to drag me around places, hope the places I go are cool and that they're nice to me. Damn, dude. Being born is so much a luck of the draw, isn't it? It's so fucked up how much of a luck of the draw how much of the luck of the draw it is. Does that make any sense? Am I fucking up my sentences again? Probably. It's only natural for me to fuck up words on a podcast where it's only me talking. But isn't that crazy? It's like, because you can't defend yourself or fight back for the majority of the years of your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? You're not big or strong enough to fight back someone who sucks if you happen to be born into a family that sucks. You're just fucked for a while. It's so crazy. And good, I don't know. It's like, it would be logical to have well-trained people that we have approved as a society to step into households to make sure everything's going well. Which we do have those people, but they're only called in when someone thinks something bad is happening. Like they're usually only show up or are called in. Like services people are usually only called in when shit has already been bad for a while, which I think is kind of a bad system. But at the same time, I understand, a good parent doesn't want a stranger to come in and check on their family because it's strange. Also, I understand the whole thing of like, it's your child and everyone has a right to their kid and you don't want someone, what if the social service person is unfairly judging you and then takes your kid away? And I get it. There's weird things to it that make it more complicated than just somebody showing up to make sure everything's cool. But I kind of wish that there was a chaperone to parenting, right? Come on. Wouldn't it make more sense if, like, we had a chaperone for the first couple of years of birth so that they could watch you they can test drive whether or not you are a good parent? Like, that makes more sense than someone showing up after you punched your kid in the eyes, If somebody was there for a while to make sure you knew what you were doing and you didn't punch your kid in the eyes, right? Like, if someone was there to make sure that you weren't a good person who then unraveled at the pressure of a child. But we could never do that because we'd be like, I don't want a stranger in my fucking house. Who are you to tell me how to raise my kid? Well, I'm certified in not being a fucked up human being, and you just chewed up food and spit it in your son's face. So I think I am an authority on don't do that. Who are you to tell me how to parent? Well, you just threw your kid down a flight of stairs, so I think I might be an authority having had my own kids and never doing that to them. I think I can tell you, hey, don't do that. Anyway, so I was at this fucking weird place with my dad and my family, and I think it was a snow day. I mean, there was a lot of snow on the ground. It might have just been a weekend where it was snowy. But I remember we got to this place, and it was a school that had a hill, had like a back hill, and all these people came with their cars and their families, and they parked in the parking lot, and all of them were like sleigh riding down this hill. Now, it's funny because in my perception back then, like when I was a kid, I thought this hill was this giant fucking like ski slope. I thought this was like a resort you went to pay to go, hey, let me go down the hill. How much is it? Should I buy a snowboard? Should I rent a sled? Like, I thought this was an establishment that we were at. And now looking back, no, it was the Yorktown fucking school back hill. But I guess that's how many people were there, that it seemed like an established place. I mean, it was an established place in people's heads, but, it wasn't a fucking ski resort. Anyway, so I remember we park, and I get out of the car, and in my memory, this is the first time I've been to this place, and yet I ran out of the car as if I had been there. I've been to this place millions of times. But I guess I was sitting in my seat with my sled in my hand, and as soon as we parked the car, I got out of the car and I started just running towards the hill. Because all the cars parked right at the hill. Like, as you were driving up, you saw the hill. As soon as you parked, it was go time. So I get out and I run towards the hill, and I can't remember if I heard my parents say anything to me. But I was just like, fuck it, I'm bouncing, dude. I gotta fucking experience this thing. I saw all the other kids. I saw all the other family members. I went, damn, dude, I'm missing out. They fucking hit that white before I did, dude. They're shredding that snoo before I could. I gotta get in there. So I just ran, and I remember I jumped up, and I landed on my sled, and I just fucking booked it down the hill. And I remember I wasn't looking in front of me at all. You know what I'm saying? I was like riding down the hill, and I had no perception of what was in front of me. I was just looking at the sled and the snow. Like I ran, jumped on it, and I guess the way I jumped on it, I was just staring at the white snow and experiencing the momentum of me flying forward down the hill. And then I heard in the back of me, Jake, watch out, Jake! And I was like, what? What's that? Like, what is that noise? And then I looked up. For some reason, the noise made me look up. I don't know if they said watch out. I just heard a loud amalgamation of Jake, what are you doing, Jake? That's what I heard, and that made me look up for whatever reason. And as I looked up, I realized that the sled was like veering to the right towards like this big metal container. Why was there a big metal container? I don't know. Why was there like a metal shipping container? Like it should be on a fucking drug smuggling ship in the middle of the bottom of this hill in the back of a fucking high school. Why was that there? I have no idea, but it was for some reason. It was either that or a giant rock. I remember a shipping container for some reason. So let's go with that, because I think that's what it was. It was something giant and metal that I shouldn't be flying towards. And it was one of those moments where I saw it and I didn't have the physical understanding of my body to veer away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so funny of how like sports and things that you did when you were younger, you realize like there were aspects of it that you were bad at just because you mentally couldn't understand how to use your body correctly. Does that make sense? Like I mentally didn't understand how to shift my weight to veer away from this metal thing, like to go left instead of right. Like I didn't have the capacity in my head at all of like, oh, lean. There was no leaning in my brain. There was just like, oh, I'm on the sled and now I'm moving where the sled takes me. Like that's what I thought. I thought when I was younger that you don't dictate where the sled takes you. The sled just takes you. You get on the thing and then you go for a ride. No one taught me, no one told me, no, well, you can choose where it goes based on how you angle it and move on it. You can maneuver it in certain ways. If someone told me that, I'd be like, what does the word maneuver mean? I don't even know that I can move a sleigh on my own. Why are you using the word maneuver? I'm confused. And they'd be like, okay, forget the word maneuver. Use your weight distribution to move the sleigh accordingly. Okay, if I don't know what the word maneuver is, what makes you think I'm going to know what distribution is? I'm 7. No, I was probably younger. I was probably like 6, I think. Anyway, so I hear my dad screaming. I hear that noise. I'm going towards this shipping container for whatever fucking reason. Don't know why it's there, but also don't have the capacity to be like, well, lean left, idiot. Hang a left. So I just go towards it. And thankfully, I think the snow went up a little bit in like a lip. So I kind of like hopped up, and instead of like smashing into the thing, I just kind of like stopped short, if that makes sense. Like there was a ramp that I didn't go off of. I just went up a little bit, enough for it to stop my sled. And then I remember my dad came down and was like, what are you doing? Why don't ever do that again? Don't just run out into the hill. My dad doesn't curse, by the way. My dad doesn't curse, and yet I always make him curse in fucking things that I say. I think I said this on the podcast before, because he doesn't curse, but he, you know, the way he speaks gives off the energy like he is. But he's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. And then I think I started crying and I was freaking out. And my dad thought, and looking back, how many times am I going to say looking back? Looking back, this is the Looking Back podcast. I've said it fucking 40 times. Dude, I say the same thing over and over again on this podcast so often. Looking back as a young bloke, but But I remember being petrified, terrified. And I thought it was because I almost hit the shipping container, but really it was because of the way my dad screamed at me. My dad just yelled at me like bloody murder, like, "Don't you ever fucking do that again! You gonna hit that thing, you're gonna hurt yourself!" And he screamed at me so aggressive that I think I didn't go down the hill the rest of the day. And I guess it was a combination of like, I didn't want to go down the hill because at that point, it's funny because my dad, I don't know, I don't want to judge his parenting, but if I had a kid now, thinking back about that, having had that experience, I would then be like, hey, listen, man, don't run out because you could have gotten hurt, but also like, why don't we? And if I saw he didn't want to sleigh ride the rest of the day, my son, who I know loves doing that, I'd be like, hey, you want to go down the hill slow with me? You want to figure this out? You want to work back up to just running blindly down the hill? But I think my dad was just like, oh, you got to be careful. Also, he should have been like, hey, this is how you use your weight to not just blindly go into shit. Like, why didn't he... Why didn't he go like, hey, why is my son just taking that thing for a ride and not going, there's a shipping container, let me hang a left. Maybe I should teach him how to sleigh correctly so he doesn't bash into shit. But anyway, I think my dad's energy was more preventing me from continuing to sleigh ride that day than the actual event of almost being injured. So that's what I'm saying when I'm like, snow days for some people might be rough because they're trapped in the house with somebody who might not have the right fucking demeanor for you to want to be around. But for me, that's why I was happy. It was just Sonia and the boys. And even that got hairy though, Even that gets hairy. Being inside with your brothers at a young age gets fucking intense, dude. Everyone's dealing with their own insecurities at different stages of their high school careers or middle school careers or whatever. Everyone's dealing with hormones, but different kinds at different stages. It can get fucking intense being in a snow day house with two older brothers. That was the timer. I'll continue babbling in a second. What's up? I'm back. But yeah. It's funny too because my dad got so pissed at me with that. And I was thinking before this podcast, because I was thinking about that story of me going down that hill blindly. And I was like, did that negative experience, like the fact that went poorly and my dad yelled at me, did that have a lasting effect that I don't realize? I always wondered that shit in your childhood where you're like, how much did that actually impact who I am as a person today, or the way I think, or the way I go about life? And I was like, did that make me more hesitant? The fact that didn't go well? And I was like, and then I was thinking, and I was like, nah. I'm still a fucking impulsive psychopath. Because then I was thinking, well, no, it taught me to not do shit in front of him. And I think maybe it's because the way he handled it, the way he just yelled at me doing that. I was like, because really now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I never stopped sleigh riding like a psychopath, because when my family moved into the third house we were living in, I moved 3 times growing up. When we were in that last third house, we had like a huge back hill that went into the road and then onto some grass again. Like, it was a giant back hill that was like a fucking just a straight drop, and then it would have a little lip at the end that would go into the road, and then you would slide through the road onto another patch of grass. And the goal was to make it to the other patch of grass, which you wouldn't every time unless you fucking really ran and jumped on that sled and hit it and hit it in the manner in which you would go fast as fuck and you would launch through the street and onto the other patch of grass, which is something that I would try and do every time I went down. But that's the thing, is that like I went from almost hitting a shipping container to being older and maybe riding into oncoming traffic every 3 or 4 times. To sometimes having to stop your sled mid-go because a car was coming that would flatten you. So I guess it didn't have the effect of stopping me. It had the effect of like, yeah, just make sure you can have it even more fucked up and crazy. Just don't have the guy who yelled at you around while you're doing it. That's what you do. That's a lot of things in life. It's like, oh, I can do this. I just got to make sure that you know, the people who don't get it don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the effect it had on me. Oh, this guy's yelling at me. He doesn't understand why I did this. I was just trying to have fun. I can still have fun. I just got to make sure the people who aren't going to like that fun don't yell in my face. Although he did have a point, I almost fucking hit into the shipping container. I didn't, though. That's the thing, is I didn't hit it. And, you know, calm down, dude. You don't always have to yell at me like a fucking intense Italian, man. You know? Chill, bro. Yeah, dude, that was fun going down that back hill. There were some close fucking calls, dude. And then Sonia would just be like, you know, you got to be careful of cars. And we're like, yeah, we are. If she only knew, dude. If she only knew the close calls we had. I think once or twice we had a guy like actually stop his car too and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you sleigh riding into the road? And we're like, dude, chill, bro. You fucking slammed on your brakes. I've always been that person who's like, well, nothing bad happened, so chill. And then someone's like, well, something bad could have happened. It's like, well, yeah, now we acknowledge that. We acknowledge the fact that something bad could have happened. Now that we've had that near-death experience, we'll be a little bit more careful, but let's not dwell on the fact that it could have happened because it didn't, so shut up. I don't know if that's the right mentality to have. Probably not. That probably leads you towards something bad. I guess it's only if you don't correct after the near death. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the near death and then correct a little bit so you don't get as close next time. But you approach it, and then the approach is safer, so you're fine. Does that make sense? I've done a couple of those things where I just fucking run into situations, or I go into situations and almost at my own peril. Did I tell you guys about when my family was on vacation somewhere and I was super young? I had to be like 4 or 5. Or maybe I was 6. Maybe it was the same fucking year. Maybe this is why my dad yelled at me at the snow, because in the summer I did the same thing and he was like, dude, what the fuck? Is this kid going to die? This kid's going to die if I don't yell at him. But in the summer, I think we went on vacation somewhere and we were in a pool. And I couldn't swim, and my mom, so I was standing on the steps, and my mom was like, because she wasn't in the pool, she was like sitting on a lounge chair or something, or she was sitting near the pool doing something, and I think I was on the steps, and my dad was with my brothers in the water, and I was on the last step, and I was like up to my neck in the water. And my mom was like, that's fine. Just don't go down another step. And I thought there was one more step, and there wasn't. It was just one more step was me going into the water. So I wanted to see what the next step was. Even though I was at my neck in water, again, you don't have the brain capacity to understand how big you are, to understand how your weight works, to understand anything about anything. So I just was like, oh, I'm up to my neck in water. This feels cool. I wonder what happens if I take another step. Not understanding like, oh, if the water is here and I take another step, the water will be here or the water will be over my head. I didn't. The water will be here. I was fucking 6. No, if one more step, I'm fully submerged and drowning. But again, you don't process things like that. As that kid walking down each step, I was like, every time I walked down another step, I was like, oh, this feels cool. The water is further up my body. But I didn't have any perception of how much it was going up each time. Anyway, I took that last step going, I wonder what this will be like. And next thing I knew, I was under the water completely. And I was just like this. I was just in the water looking around. I had no understanding of the fact that I was underwater, that I couldn't breathe. I just was in a new place, having a new experience all of a sudden. And as far as I was concerned, I was fine. And this was just an interesting thing happening. I was confused because I was like, oh, why is everything blurry? Why is my vision different? I was more curious than anything else. And I didn't move around at all because I didn't understand I was underwater. I had no perception of drowning or that you couldn't breathe underwater. I didn't have any perception of anything besides, oh, I'm in a different state of being, and it's interesting. But my mom did not have the Zen-like quality I had under the water. Her above water had the mother instinct of, where the fuck did my kid go? Oh my God, is he under the water fully? He doesn't know how to swim. I gotta get in there. So my mom, in full clothing, just jumped into the water. She went, Jake! Again, I get it. It's your kid. I probably will do the same thing in their shoes in the future if I have a kid. Just scream the kid's name when something bad is happening. Hopefully I won't, though. Hopefully I'll just go help him rather than just scream his fucking name. My mom, that's such a weird thing to do. My mom just, listen, she made the right move. She jumped into the water and got me out and made sure I didn't drown to death. She made sure I didn't get to the moment where my body realized, like, oh, wait, this isn't just a new state of being. You can't breathe. You're going to fucking die. You know what I'm saying? She didn't allow me to get to the state where it would have been fucking a bad story that would have stayed with me and haunted me forever. Instead, it was just a funny thing of, like, I took one too many steps and my mom thankfully was there to scoop me out. Anyway, she didn't let me become unbreakable, okay? Which, by the way, now I'm pissed because she could have let me drown a little bit. Then I would have caught pneumonia, and then I would have found out that water is my weakness, but every other fucking thing in the world does not hurt me, and that I was a superhero low key who needed to fight Samuel L. Jackson. I could have learned that if not for my mom saving me. I could have learned that I was fucking M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable, bro. I could have learned that I was a superhero comic, dude. No, anyway, if you haven't seen Unbreakable, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, so my mom jumps in, scoops me up, grabs me, and I was just chilling. And my mom's like, oh my God, what are you crazy? You have to stay on the steps. But she mostly just was like, are you okay? Are you okay? And then she's like, you have to stay on the steps, Jake. You can't go off the steps. I was like, oh, I thought there was another step. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. And that's the way to do it, by the way. For parents, if you're a parent out there, for some reason listening to my stupid fucking ass, take some advice from me, having been a kid. Not having been a parent at all, so my advice is pretty bullshit, but having been a kid who's encountered my two parents, if your kid is in a traumatic situation like that or a weird situation like that, go my mom's route, not my dad's route. Don't yell at the kid and go, what did you fucking idiot? Just be like, hey, you have to stay on the steps. And if they're like, I thought there was another step, you go, oh, it's okay, you'll be all right. Next time, be more careful. And then the kid's like, oh, okay, next time I will be more careful. Guess what I never did? I never took another step. until I learned how to swim. You know, that experience taught me to always be aware of my surroundings and always be aware of, or maybe it didn't, because then in the winter, I fucking went down that hill. I'm confused in the timeline. Maybe it taught me to be mindful of my surroundings just in the pool. That's how a kid's brain works. Okay, I'll be mindful of my surroundings just in the pool. Then I encountered snow, and I was like, well, this is a different type of water, so I'm going to fucking be crazy with it. But yeah. But with the pool, I was always aware of where I was in the pool after that. With the snow, I started riding the fucking sled into the road. So my mom definitely had the right technique on that. Definitely stuck with me better, and I was a much safer boy when it came to the water the water sports. Anyway, what's up, guys? That's enough snow talk. I was thinking about this the other day. Do you think that the 12 days of Christmas were created to compete with the 8 days of Hanukkah? Because already there's the war on Christmas thing, which is like, why can't you say Merry Christmas? Which really isn't the argument. Like, you can say Merry. I've talked about this on the podcast. I think 2 years in a fucking row at this point. Or 1 year. How many Christmases have we had on this podcast? 2? 1? Or maybe just 1. Anyway, I talked about this on the podcast of like the war on Christmas. You can say Merry Christmas. If someone says to you, it's Happy Holidays, that person's an asshole. You know, if you want to say Merry Christmas to somebody, for the most part, people will just go, oh yeah, Happy Holidays. Like that, like if they're, or they'll just say Merry Christmas back. You often don't encounter people who force you to say Happy Holidays. That's a weird fucking thing to do. People just are like, oh, you should say Happy Holidays because it includes everybody. But you don't, it's not a requirement. No one's thinking you're an asshole if you say Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah specifically. No one cares. So that's why I think the Merry Christmas thing and the war on Christmas is more like, hey, I don't want to have to say Happy Hanukkah. I think it's less, why can't I say Merry Christmas, and more, don't have dreidels in the school where I have Christmas trees, okay? I don't want my kid going to a fucking dreidel school. We believe in Jesus Christ and the man in the sleigh, all right, fuckface? I think that's more the tone of it, which is fucking stupid, bro. Dude, recently, a friend of mine who takes care of kids, I think she works at a daycare. I think it was a daycare or something, and I guess that's less regulated than a school, or it's, you know, or it's less like, it's less of a place where you have to be accommodating, I guess. I guess you really only have to be accommodating to the parents who are there. But then again, if there's a Jewish family and a fucking Christian family, there's going to be both decorations, dude. That's how it goes. And there's nothing wrong with that. Chill, bro. But like last year, I think a friend of mine, she had like a parent or somebody be like, hey, can you only have Christmas decorations? Because we don't celebrate that. Also, it's the phrasing of it, you know? Can you only put up Christmas trees? Because we don't celebrate that other one. We don't celebrate that. What? You can't even say it? You can't even say we don't celebrate Hanukkah? You can't even like say the word Hanukkah in your fucking shittiness? At least commit, dude. Say the word. Don't say that. I won't even speak that fucking long, not holiday that I believe in word. Okay? I don't want to see a single whatever they're called. Those spinny things. I don't want to see them around. Dreidels, you mean? Yeah, I'm not gonna. If I'm not gonna say the holiday, you better bet your ass I'm not gonna say the things that are in it. Imagine that. I've never heard a Jewish person be like, can you not have a tree there? I've never heard a Jewish person say, I don't celebrate that. We don't celebrate that. So fucking stupid. Can we only have dreidels up? Because we don't celebrate that. We don't celebrate the fucking fat man with the presents, okay? But yeah, she had to be like, no, we're going to have decorations up for everybody because you're not the only family here. You're not the only person with kids here. There's Jewish families as well. We're going to do all of the holidays because it's the holiday season, and Hanukkah and Christmas happen around the same time. So that's what we're going to fucking do. They're both snow holidays, okay? They're both snow holidays with presents. That's what we're doing, bro. And then I guess the parent was just like, fine. It's just weird, man. It's weird. If it isn't anti-Semitism, what is it? Because I don't get it. Because I know plenty of Christians or just people who celebrate Christmas who don't give a fuck. I would say the majority, most people are like, oh, it's Christmas, dude. Chill. It's Christmas. It's Hanukkah. Chill. I like them both. If somebody invited me to their Hanukkah celebration, I'd be like, hell yeah, dude, I'm coming. I want to be part of all of the holidays. I'm a big proponent of all holidays are for everybody. Why would you not want to celebrate all of them? It's more fucking fun, dude. The more holidays I can celebrate, the more possible presents I can get, and the more people I can have a good time with. What is the problem here? Why are you trying to box out the dreidel time, dude? You don't like latkes, bro? Latkes are fucking delicious. I think every person who's like, I just want to say Merry Christmas should eat a latke. They'll be saying Happy Hanukkah real fucking fast, dude. There'll no longer be a war on Christmas. There'll just be a celebration on Hanukkah. Okay? Next time a Republican goes, I don't want to say happy holidays. We're going to shove a latke down his throat and he's going to go, happy fucking Hanukkah, dude. I'll say it all day, bro. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas. You want some fucking ham? Let me get some of them latkes and we'll all chill together, dude. That's what's going to happen. And that's what we should do. We should adopt that as a thing. Hashtag latke, okay? Hashtag latkes for Christmas. Anytime somebody is weird about Judaism or about not wanting to have the same decorations in the same building, you shove a latke down their throat and they'll personally buy a menorah. That's what's going to happen. That's what we're doing this holiday season, okay? And I know you might be saying, well, with COVID, should you really be shoving latkes down people's throats? That might be too close and personal. And to that I say, listen, dude, you got to do what you got to do. Do you want to save Christmas or not? Okay? Also, if some guy is like, I don't fucking want to say happy holidays, I don't like Hanukkah, do you really care about getting that person COVID? Not really. Shove a latke down his throat. He'll either get COVID and still suck, or he'll have a delicious latke and convert to Judaism. That's how it's going to go, dude. Anyway. What else do I have on here? I don't have much time left. There's so much shit, dude. I mean, I guess I could talk about this real quick. I beat Cyberpunk. I beat Cyberpunk, guys. And it was fine. I don't know, man. I wish there was New Game Plus. I don't get it. I've definitely talked about this before, but every game should have New Game Plus, dude. Demon Souls is so great. I still want to keep playing Demon Souls. I think the max amount of playthroughs I've done on one character is 3. I still want to fucking see what it's like on 4, see what it's like on 5. Like, I still want, because the difficulty keeps increasing, and there's a reason to keep going. It's just like, ooh, let me further that challenge. Also, I get to keep playing the game with all my gear. It feels like a constant progression, right? Cyberpunk. I understand. You got a lot to deal with. You got all those fucking bugs to deal with. It's a pretty unfinished game in itself, right? So part of me is like, hey, I understand why there's no New Game Plus right now. Also, Witcher 3 was a New Game Plus, was a fucking thing you added later, which was awesome. It was a free update, which was fucking sick. But you did set the precedent for New Game Plus, dude. You did. That's the thing. It's a double-edged sword of New Game Plus, is that I'm really happy that you fucking gave it to me and I love it in your last game, but the fact that you put it in the last RPG you had, it makes me go, well, I know you can do it, so put it in, bro. I mean, I understand that you forgot to make the game functionally play on every console, so you might have also forgotten or held off on the New Game Plus, but it's like, I don't know, now that I'm done, I'm done. I guess I'll start a new character, maybe, but it's like, I just want to fucking carry my shit over. Can I do that? I just want to fucking use the late game revolver I got. I just want to use that at the beginning and fucking be overpowered. I like being overpowered in games. I like earning that. It's fun. Some people don't like that. They're like, well, I like starting from the beginning, so there's a challenge throughout. Nah, dude. I had the challenge. Now give me the fun time. In my brain, New Game Plus is you put the time in, so now we're rewarding you by being able to use what you earned to destroy everything in a very fun manner. Right? It's like God mode, except you can die. That's all it is. But yeah, Cyberpunk was all right. That's really all I got to say. I don't want to spoil anything in the game, but it was okay. It was pretty good. It was a decent story. Overall, I had fun. If the game wasn't a buggy mess, I would have liked it a lot. If it wasn't a buggy mess, I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Or maybe even a 9. I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. But the bugginess, I'd give it a 6, bro. It's fucking, come on, dude. It crashed more times than I died in the game. I don't know if I said that last time, but it's crashed a significant number of times since the last podcast I had. It's probably crashed at least 40 times. The game has crashed at least 40 times. That's more times than any game I've ever played. That's a problem, dude. And that's only one of the many fucking issues, okay? I've encountered a bug so many times where you aim and you can't shoot. You have to fire from the hip. For whatever reason, your guns, you can't aim down the sights and shoot. You have to reload a last checkpoint. I had to force people. So certain people wouldn't call me, even though I waited 9 days. I had to reload, and they called me immediately. Quest objectives would just fucking blank out. Right? The person I was supposed to find just wouldn't be there. I would do what the mission said, and then it would still say, keep doing what you did. And it's like, well, I already did that. What other bugs? Fucking people in the floor. Fucking just objects levitating. I mean, my health bar disappearing, that was a fucking annoying one. My health bar kept disappearing, and I had to fucking restart my PlayStation to get the fucking health bar to come back. That's not good, dude. It sucks. It sucks to play a game that you like a lot with so many bugs, because you're just like, this is a great game. Like it's such stupid shit holding it back. You know what I'm saying? It's like dating somebody who can't stop clicking their teeth. You know? They're beautiful, they're awesome, they're perfect, they're smart, they're funny, they're interesting, everything's great, but they keep clicking their fucking teeth, and that's driving me insane. That's what Cyberpunk is like. Okay? It's like a girlfriend who holds your hand on the first date. You're like, "Hey, man, that's annoying." Right? It's a person you love dearly that you're dating, that you all you want to do is kiss and fucking cuddle the person, but she chews so loud and disgustingly that you're like, "Can't we just fix this?" That's what it is. That's what Cyberpunk is. It's a it's a beautiful mess. It's something really great that has some flaws. Uh that they has some flaws that can be fixed. Maybe it's a little too brutal talking about saying a person. But again, I don't know. Someone could fix their chewing. Come on. If somebody told me, nah, never mind. I was going to say people could fix their chewing. If a girlfriend I had told me that I needed to chew differently, I would. That's not true. So if a girlfriend I knew told me that I chewed weird, I would go, okay, I'm good. I've been chewing this way for fucking 27 years, and no one's had a problem with it, okay? They had a problem earlier, and I course corrected, but for the past 7 years, no one said a fucking thing, so I'm not going to change my chewing that I've been doing for 7 years for you, bro. Peace out. Anyway, that's the end of the second half. I'm going to do one more quick part, and then we'll be done. See you in a second. What's up? I'm back. How you guys doing? Is this the water that I had? No, this is the water. Dude, I get a water and then I think I have one and then I get a fresh water. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. Then I got to put the fresh water back in the fridge because I'm like, no, I already had one. You dumb fuck. You dumb for short-term forgetting fuckface. What's up, guys? I got to get an external recorder, am I right? So I don't have to take these breaks. I can just go for fucking hour and 10 minutes. Hour and 10 minutes is what I like, I think. I've been doing this podcast for almost 2 years, and I think an hour and 10, a little bit over an hour is the sweet spot for me. Hour 15, I like that. Maybe that's what the stimulus check will go towards. The $600 of stimulus we're getting. Maybe that'll go towards buying an external recorder. Dude, $600 is going to save my fucking life, dude. What was the Canadian program? Was it like $2,000 a month for fucking 8 months or something like that? Oh, dude, what? That's pretty chill, huh? I gotta fucking leave. That's what I'm really like. I gotta leave this country. It's shit like that with Canada. I gotta look into that more because I don't know if that's true. But I read something online that was like Canada got stimulus that was $2,000 a month, and that was every month of quarantine. Come on, man. We got $1,200 once. Come on, dude. You know, I'm not somebody to be like, fuck America. Like, we got our problems, but like there are aspects of America that I like a lot. Like I like freedom of speech. I like being able to say what I think. I like being able to, not have to worry about. I mean, freedom of speech is what I like. That's basically what I like. I like being able to say things. I think that's a very important right that human beings should have, and that part of America is cool. But the part where you get $1,200 one time for all of fucking quarantine, where everyone's like, you got to stay indoors or else you'll kill people, but we're only going to help you out this tiny bit. That part fucking sucks. Anyway, I had a couple more things that I wrote down to talk about. It wasn't stimulus checks. I didn't write that down at all. That was what I felt in my heart in the moment, and I told you guys. I guess I have more snow stories. Nah, that's fine. Like, I'll talk about these two things. Dude, somebody said the other day that I had a southern twang in my voice. And I don't. I don't have that at all. Not at all do I have a southern twang in my voice. At all. Don't have it at all. I got a Guinea twang, if anything, I think. I mean, my dad, I should tell my dad that she thought I had a southern twang. I don't know where the fuck she was from. She was a very, she seemed chill. She was a strange individual. But, you ever have somebody say something like that? Say something to you where you don't know. It's such a weird thing to say. It's such a weird, incorrect thing to say that you're like, is this person flirting with me? Or is this something they genuinely believe? Because it was very early in the day. And this lady, this woman was one of those people who was, well, first of all, in the beginning of the day, I made the mistake of somebody asked how old I was, and I made a joke like, oh, I'm 47, right? And I was like, no, I'm 27. And the director, this was a student film. The director laughed, and then I was like, no, I'm 27 or whatever. And it got a laugh from him, who's young, but it didn't really get a laugh from the other actors in the movie. And then I was like, oh, why? They're probably older than me. And I just kind of maybe one of them is 47. They weren't. There's no way either of them were 47. They looked in their 30s though. So I think maybe already that joke was like, they were like, I don't get it. What do you make? You're just making a joke about how you're young? Fuck you. Fuck you. No, I don't know how they processed it. But there was no laugh. So already I was in a weird space. By the way, both of these ladies were very attractive. It's funny because also I made that statement of like, whenever I make a joke about age, it's never like, oh, you're old. Like I never make jokes that are, oh, that person's old. Because I've said on this podcast before, I prefer older people. I meet somebody and I'm like, oh, you're 35, dude? Damn, that's hot, bro. Wait a second, you're close to 40, dude? That's you're good looking. When I see somebody who I think is attractive and then I find out they're older, I'm like, damn, that's good genes. That's what happens in my brain. I go, damn, great genetics, bro. I'm attracted to that person. If you're 23 and you look 42, I'm like, damn, dude, get the fuck away from me, bro. Actually, that's not true. I don't care. I just care about the look of somebody and who they are. The age part, I'll probably care more when it's like, there's obviously a grace period. Like there's obviously a drop off. Also, it's obviously I'm not sure. I'm not like a. It's obviously like, oh, I'm attracted to people who are attractive and older. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think I'm attracted to the in general 38-year-old person. In general, the way 38-year-olds look, I'm probably not attracted to that. But when I see a 38-year-old who I think is a cutie, then I'm very attracted to them. I don't know why, but that's the case. Anyway, these two ladies were probably in their 30s, very cute, and I said that joke, and it was already on the wrong foot and strange. But one of them said, you kind of have a southern twang. And I was like, no, I don't. And then everybody else was like, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. That's a weird thing to say. And then in my head, I was like, that's just a weird, I don't know why she said that. Maybe it was just like a topic for conversation. But then throughout the day, I would say things that weren't funny and she would laugh. Or the moment I would like say anything, she would be like, ha ha ha. Or like, every time I would speak to her and other people around her, she would engage in a way that was like, oh, we're talking now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like she would like pep up a little bit of like, oh, okay. So now I'm wondering, was the Southern twang just like a thing of like, this is I'm going to say this because it's something, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever done that? I've done that when I'm trying to flirt with people. I'm probably wrong, by the way. She probably wasn't flirting with me, but she could have been. Who knows? Have you ever done that though? I've done that where I just say shit to people because I think like you're talking to somebody and you just say some dumb shit. That's something I think I might have in one point in my life said to somebody like, "Oh, where's that accent from?" And I don't even really hear an accent. I'm just like very fixated on the person's voice because I think they're cute and I'm interested. Where I'm like, I hear their voice and I'm like, damn, it sounds specific to me. And it isn't a specific voice at all. It probably is like, hang on. But for whatever reason, I hone in on it and I'm like, and I make it specific because I'm like, damn, she's different. And then you're like, oh, what accent is that? And they're like, oh, I'm from fucking New York. And you're like, wait, I'm from New York. Wait, but you have a Southern twang. And they're like, no, I don't. You just want to kiss my face. And then I'm like, ha ha ha, what? You want to have sex? Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Southern twang. I don't think I have that. If this podcast was bigger, I'd be like, sound off in the comments below. And then I'd see some comments of like, nah, dude, you don't have a Southern twang. Or yes, dude, you do. She wasn't flirting with you. She's just informing you that your voice sucks. That could be the case, but I don't know. I've never gotten that before. Southern. Or maybe I have. No, I've gotten it once or twice. But again, every time I've gotten it, it's been from somebody who, what are you talking about? And that's the thing too, is I'm assuming it was a flirt because it was a very stupid thing to say. You know, when you're flirting, you say stupid shit. And I think the reason why my brain defaults to like, oh, maybe it was a flirt was that like, I don't want to think she's stupid enough to think I have a Southern twang. Because to me, that's a dumb thing to say because I don't have one. That's like me going up to a British person and going, hey, man, is that a fucking American accent? I was going to say me saying is that an Australian accent? But then again, I mix up those two. So maybe I'm a fucking idiot. Imagine that. Dude, we're all idiots. Never mind. I'm fucking being mean. You know what? It's fine that she thought I had a Southern twang because I'm somebody who meets dudes from Australia, Australian dudes who are like, hey, how you doing? And they go, guess where I'm from, mate? No, see? Now, I don't even know what accent I'm doing. But I'll meet people like, all right, yeah. I had a prawn. I'll meet somebody like that and they'll be like, guess where I'm from, mate? And I'll be like, London? And they'll be like, hey, you think I sound London? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what any of you fucking sound like. I know what Ricky Gervais sounds like. Oh, you think that gold is real? You think that gold is real? I know what that fuckface sounds like, but that's it. Other than that, I don't mean fuckface as an insult. I think Ricky Gervais is very funny. But I know what he sounds like, and that's about it. Oh, yes, Ricky Gervais. And that's not a good impression, but it's good enough for me to be like, that's him. But Australian dude, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea the difference. But I don't know the difference between Ricky Gervais's accent and Hugh Jackman's accent. I mean, I can hear it, but at the same time, if you told me they were from the same town, I would go, sure, man, cool. So you know what? If I was in fucking London, I'd be the asshole. I'd be the dumb asshole who people were like, is this guy flirting with me or is he a fucking dumb fuck? So never mind. That girl, she's totally fine. Maybe I sound Southern. I don't know. She's chill. I have her phone number. I'm going to go on a date. No, I don't have her phone number at all. Anyway. Yeah, dude. I was also thinking about, we'll end it on this. I was thinking about, that could be an alternate name for this podcast. I was thinking about, because I say that every fucking time I bring up a new topic. But I was driving the other day and I was driving just how I normally drive. Sometimes, you know how when you're driving, you ride the brake? Now, if you are young enough where you don't drive listening to this, how dare you, dude? This is age-restricted content. Get out of here. No. But if for whatever reason, I don't know, if you're fucking 15 or something, and you haven't driven much, when do you get your permit? 16? 15? Don't remember. I think it's 16. Maybe it's 15. Don't fucking know. But if you don't, or maybe if you just don't fucking drive, maybe if you're like my friend, 30 years old and don't have a driver's license because you grew up in Jersey. Doesn't make sense, by the way. I met this dude in New York City, right? So I'm like, oh, you don't have a driver's license? It's because you live in New York City. Because you must have grown up in New York City, so you don't need a driver's license. And then we became really close friends, and he's like, oh, I grew up in Jersey. I'm like, oh, have a driver's license then. Oh, have a driver's license then. Jersey's not a place to not have a driver's license, you fucking idiot. Anyway, so when you drive, you ride the brake sometimes, right? Like you're going down a hill and you put your foot not on the gas, you put it over the brake. You don't press the brake, but you hover over the brake in case you need to brake. It's called riding the brake. And it took me back to when I had driver's ed, which was the worst fucking class of all time. But you had to take driver's ed. I think it was like a safety course and driver's ed, or maybe it was just driver's ed. I forget. But you had to take this course to get your license, your senior license earlier. You could get your junior license at 16 and a half, I think. And then at 17, you could get your senior license, which your senior license is you can drive at night. I did not get my license at 16 and a half. I waited till I was 17 and then got my license because I was like, fuck it. Because your junior license is like you have to be at home by 9. It's like, dude, you can't drive past 9. So I was like, I don't want to fucking worry about that at all. I just want the license where I can drive at all hours of the day or night. Okay? So, but I took driver's ed, and there was this thing for driver's ed where we all got into the student driver car, right? Which was always a fucking like Honda, like a shitty Honda or Toyota. It was always a car that barely worked for some reason, and it was always driven by a fucking 70-year-old man. There wasn't a single driver's ed instructor that I had that wasn't below the age of 60. So 100% of the time, our driving instructor was older than you should be driving. You know what I'm saying? Like they were older than the cutoff point where you're like, hey, you can't see anymore. You're fucking driving too slow or too fast. Like you don't know how to drive anymore. You've reached the point where you're reverting back to a child's brain. You can't be in the car, and yet you're in the car teaching us how to drive. What? Anyway, but I remember one of the instructors was like, "Hey, don't ever ride the brake." Like I rode the brake because we were going down a hill, and I hovered my foot over the brake, and the guy goes, "Don't do that, don't do that." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't do that. Don't ever ride the brake." And I was like, "Well, what if I'm going too fast and I need to slow down?" He goes, always press the gas pedal enough for you to be going the exact right speed. If you're riding the brake, you're driving incorrectly. That's what he said to me. That's what he said to not just me, but everyone in the car, because that's how it worked. Everyone in the car was also learning from your fuck-ups, which, again, weird way to do it. It's like everyone, and then it becomes a thing of like, hey, fucking Jackie's a shitty driver, huh? Hey, Tino fucking sucks at driving, huh, bro? Dude, Jake is a fucking cunt when it comes to turning that wheel, dude. He can't parallel park for shit. Oh, nice parallel parking, fuckface. It just became another display for ridicule. As everything did in high school. But then I went home and asked my parents, I go, do you ride the brake? And they were like, yeah, all the time. My dad was like, yeah, what? I ride the brake. You don't ride the brake? Yeah, what? I go, the driving instructor told me not to ride the brake. And my mom was like, what do you mean? Like putting your foot over the brake? And I go, yeah, like if you're going too fast, like hovering your foot over the brake in case you need to use it. My mom's like, no, yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. And then I remembered, I was like, oh, the guy who's my driving instructor is just some old dude. And now when I was thinking about it the other day in the car, I was like, dude, it's crazy that they let any of these old fucks teach us how to drive. They were all just senile old men. That's who's teaching the youth of America how to drive. Senile old men who are telling them the wrong things. No wonder so many people fail their driving test. We're fucking being... the crypt keepers teaching me how to fucking drive, dude. How are you going to teach a kid? How are you going to give a fuck enough to teach a kid how to drive safely when you're 4 minutes from a tombstone, dude? You know what I'm saying? When you're 6 minutes from being thrown into a grave and buried 6 feet under, why the fuck are you? Would you be in a position to be like, yeah, that's when you brake? Yeah, you got to go on the green light. Why would we give that person the responsibility of doing that? He should be slowly coasting to his death. He shouldn't be fucking arguing. Maybe that's why they do it. Maybe that's why they do it, actually. That's why old people are student drivers or teach student drivers. It's because they want to die. That's what it really is. That's what he was doing. He really was giving me the incorrect information because he was hoping that I would fucking crash the car and kill him and everyone in it. That's what is really happening. These old motherfuckers have a death wish, and they're like, listen, I can either wait till I die, or I can take these fucking 17-year-olds with me. That's what can happen. I can take these 16-year-olds with me to the grave, or I could die all alone without anybody because my wife divorced me for being a piece of shit a couple of years ago. And you know what? Now thinking about it, I don't blame them. I don't blame these old fucks. If the choice is between dying alone or taking those student drivers with you, I might get in that car and be like, yeah, you can go fucking 100 and a 30. Yeah, dude, 60 and a 30, that's chill as fuck. You could do that. No, you don't have to stop at that intersection. It's a 4-way stop sign. That means all other 3 people have to stop. You don't have to. Yeah, don't stop. Don't stop. Oh, yes, sweet relief. And then... yeah, here I go. Wait, hell? I thought I was going to heaven. God's like, no, dude, you took fucking 4 16-year-olds with you to the grave. You fucking idiot. You're going to hell, dipshit. That's selfish as fuck, you idiot. Anyway, dude, my mom and dad. The other night, my dad goes, my dad's coughing a lot. I was with him the other night, and my dad was just coughing a shit ton. And he goes, I got this cough all of a sudden. And then it's just silent. He goes, I hope it's not COVID. And my mom goes, it's not COVID. You don't have COVID. You already had it. You don't have it. And then he just went like this. Oh. And I looked at the two of them and I was like, oh wow, that's their life, huh? That's what being married for fucking 90 years is. Or whatever, 30 years? I don't know, 72 years. That's what being married for 72 years is. It's, I hope I don't have COVID again. You don't have COVID. That's it. That's what it is. That's what it means to be married. Is for 47 years is having that conversation be the conversation you have. What else are you going to say? What else are you going to say? After being together for 102 years. You're just going to go, we've been together for 47 years. We got to fucking... I think I might have COVID. You don't have it. That's what we're all working towards in relationships, is that. is being able to think you have COVID for a second time, even though you definitely don't, and your wife just go, that's true love. That's what true love is. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for the podcast this week. I had a fun time. Get out there, jump in the snow, enjoy the holidays. I think I'll see you for one more podcast before Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. If you already celebrated, if you celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays, everybody. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.
Jake, you're an idiot. Jake, you don't make any sense. Jake, you're a piece of shit. A piece of shit.